this is my partner, Jesse Valadares, and we are Team Bonafide at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Laffey International Realty, and welcome to Everything Long Island. We are here in our Woodbury offices. You can also find us in our Williston Park office. Today is a very exciting day because we are talking about what it takes to move, and I'm introducing you to the top mover and the top organizer and mover and packer and shipper and whatever you need, psychologist, therapist, that you can have in your moving process. So I want to introduce, I've got Jimmy Chwe from A Super Move, and I've got Vinny the organizer. See,
I love it.
I just can't get it. So we've got Jimmy and Vinny and Jesse and Melanie. So we all have the E's at the end.
Right.
So you know what? I just loved. I met these two gentlemen because I was looking for the ultimate pair. As you know, Jesse and I work with high net worth individuals. We work with celebrities. We work with sports personalities. We work with also seniors that are moving, and we find that there's a lot of people that always say, oh my God, do you know a good mover, do you know a good packer? Or someone will call and say, my mom needs help organizing. And we always, as realtors are always asked these questions, and you're only as good as your last referral. So when you're giving those referrals, they have to be someone that you really know is not going to let you down, and these two gentlemen will never let you down. So I want to start with Jimmy. Let's start with Jimmy, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about moving, how you started in the business, and then we'll go to Vinny a little, and then how Jimmy and Vinny moved together.
Sounds good. Been in the industry now for 31 years.
Wow.
I used to work for another moving company for about 10 years, then started realizing that I'm doing a lot for them. Why not do it for myself? So I opened up A Super Move 21 years ago.
Wow.
It's been growing. We do a lot of local residential commercial moving. We're going back into long distance moving. Our guiding principle is working for tomorrow's referral, as you referenced.
Yes.
It is the trademark of my group, that my business, that I really try to teach all my employees, customers, to really understand that that's what we
because it's all about customer service. I mean, they always say that, the client's never wrong, but especially in these situations, it's really hard. You have to micromanage every little aspect. I mean, there's things that could potentially get broken or lost or missing, or, and there's a lot of, the process of moving, packing, organizing, unpacking, it's so stressful for whoever it is.
It's labor intensive. It can be an organizing nightmare. It's a lot, and you need real professionals like these guys.
Yeah, you really do.
We're so fortunate to have you here today.
Appreciate being here.
You know what I love? So Vinny
Yes.
had told me when we had met for coffee that when he is doing a move, sometimes people need things moved out of state, and you can do that. So there's not very many people that I've come across that are organizing and that are helping pack and move that are even willing to do that. So tell me a little bit about what sets you apart from other organizers or packers.
Well, I got involved in doing this business back in 2014, and at the time, I really was kind of looking at it as just going in people's homes and helping them set up some systems and decluttering, and I thought that was going to be the kind of the extent of my work. But over these years, it's really changed. So to that end, it's like, I get involved with, packing people up, getting rid of trash. I mean, it seems like the list of donations, the list starts to go on and on. But I guess the point of it is that it's allowed me to then network and build with other professional teams like Jimmy's, where I'm in with a client, I'm organizing them, and then it comes up, oh, I'm moving. Could be local, could be across state lines. And it's great to be able to stand there with my client and say, I have a solution and I have the perfect person for you. And by the way, his name is Jimmy, and it's a super move, and I'll just go ahead and give them their information, and then the connection is made, and the magic just keeps happening.
It's great.
Yeah, and I like that you brought that up too, because I think in all our respective businesses, it has changed. It's really all evolved. I mean, I know for us, we're not just selling houses anymore or showing houses. Like, we're really consulting on all ends, and it's like a whole 360 view that we take now with clients. And I think selling is the smallest part, or
Correct.
helping someone buy. It's really preparing them, and it's really discussing finances and discussing all these things like moving. It's just so many things that go into it that you really need people that are well versed in the whole 360 view of buying, selling, or moving, organizing, or even just transferring to a whole new journey in your life, or you're going to maybe an assisted living thing or something like that. So it's very important to be able to meet all those needs in one. And you guys together, I think it's great as a team like we do.
Yeah. And you know what I love? I love also how you guys work together, because you know what? Imagine you have Jimmy and you moved, but like, you packed and the packing was a nightmare. And then you could say, oh my God, your packing was a nightmare. I'm so sorry. Well, guess what? Call Vinny. He's going to help you unpack. Or, Vinny setting them up and packing them all up. And then they say, oh my God, I had a horrible time moving. And you're like, you should have told me. And next time, it's all these great, things that you need to know. And passing off that baton, it's like the Olympics when they run and they pass the baton to get all the way around the track and go to the finish line. It's very much what we do. And with the senior housing, I find, like, because I do the interior design portion, I'm helping people edit and bring very few specific things and measuring. And now imagine if they didn't have someone like Jimmy moving it. So now the stuff gets damaged, So it's just such an interesting thing. It's so many pieces to it.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I was just as you were talking, something that came to mind. Actually, because we have someone in Delaware. How does it work? Because obviously, when you're doing long distance, is it something that you have to? It only works for the individual if you're already kind of on. Let's say my client in Delaware. Does it make sense for someone in Delaware to hire you here, or is it because it makes sense because they're part of the whole trip? Maybe you're going past wherever they are, and they get a piece of the truck.
It's a great question, and I think the reality, if you look at it in pieces, we're not always focused on getting the move for ourselves. We want the experience to be the best financially, stress-wise. We want to minimize that stress. So if it means giving it to an agent that's in Delaware, that's coming to New York, and I can maybe check his references and see how he's doing, I'm okay with that. We tell a lot of customers sometimes, pretty much all the time, get 3 estimates. I'm not here to sell you my company. I'm here to sell you what we offer and the access to the owner. I'm involved in every aspect, just from a sense of I want the experience to be great.
No, I get that.
Exactly. Well,
It's kind of like like we do with referrals.
Yeah, when we do with referrals, like our deal that we're doing in Delaware, I mean, the seller's basically like, you guys should get the whole commission, because we're literally, going, yeah, telling the agent what to do. She's pretty lame. I mean, and then she said she's the best in her office. So I figured it out today. She's the only agent in the office. I mean, she isn't, but I'm just saying.
Pretty limited. So that's good.
It's gotta be. She's gotta be the only one there.
Yeah,
anyway, I know I'm mean, but
You
she's
got-
really messed around with the seller.
We're talking a lot about, cost of things, and I think it's very normal for everybody to say, well, what's it going to cost? And it's a valid question. But, to Jimmy's point, we're looking at the cost, and we want to make sure we're being fiscally responsible with our clients, but at the same time, we're also bringing our expertise to the table too, to say, well, in addition to that, there's did you consider this, or do you know that you need to be aware of that, or should you, there's other things that we bring in that, we're trying to show the value add
Sure.
to what
Right.
else we're bringing to them. And, a lot of times that in itself lets people pause and stop and go, oh, I didn't think about that. And I said, well, that's what you get with us.
Well, you're also, which is also unique and unusual, you're getting the owners working with you.
Correct.
Which,
Oh,
that's
super.
like
That's
us.
a game
Like
changer.
you're working with us. You're not working with other people. And believe it or not, that's why we're at Berkshire Hathaway, because Emmett is very, very hands-on. And I love that we can call the broker owner and poof, he'll show up. He'll speak to the homeowner. He'll discuss with them why we're charging what we charge or what they're going to get, or help them understand why we need to do a price improvement. And it's really invaluable when you're working with someone that's just a cog in a bigger machine. It's less personal, and you really, they can kind of quit and move on, and you never see them again, and they didn't really care about what they did because their skin wasn't on the line. It wasn't really their business, so they really didn't care about what the reputation of the company or the business was,
Yeah.
So it's very unique,
Yeah, I find, that's very true. When I deal in my situation, going in and helping folks, with their stuff, whatever they're going to do with it, they want to be heard first and foremost. They don't want to be treated like a number. So I strive when I'm dealing with people, regardless of whatever they're bringing me in for, I want to listen to them first. What is it you want? Because at the same time, I also make sure, am I the guy that's going to be able to provide you what you want? I don't want to waste, I'm very upfront with people. I'm not going to waste your time or your money. If I'm the guy, great. Otherwise, I'll refer to somebody else that maybe is better suited for you.
Yeah, but
Right.
people appreciate that. The fact that you're straightforward. And
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're getting, and either works for them or it doesn't, and that's amazing. So you guys, you don't only deal with very high end, exclusive clientele. Like you're working with everyone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah,
So what
that's-
about seniors? What kind of seniors have you worked with? Have you worked with people maybe that, have physical disabilities or have dementia, Alzheimer's?
I do a lot of moving for seniors into assisted living, out of, but our primary focus is really just addressing any customer.
Love that.
We know that the needs are the range of needs is insane. I mean, moving is one of the top 5 probably most stressful things
Oh,
to
God,
do.
It is.
And so ultimately, the goal is to just keep every customer, everyone's different. So you have to pretty much have an individualized plan on how you're dealing with each customer. So when we book work, we try to write notes so that the team is aware of it beforehand, that this one's a little uneasy about moving, or you're gonna have to take a little extra patience.
Or she's focused on this one piece of furniture, or
We call them point of pains, where
Oh,
this is their most prized possession. Whatever we have to do, and it boils down to communication. So ultimately, if we don't know our customers and their needs, it's hard to really address what they want. And
That's
that's
great.
what we have to
And
focus
talk
on.
about seniors. I think you had mentioned before we went on air that you're part of a
Seniors
certain organization
Yeah.
that
Yes.
deals with that.
Yeah,
Can you please discuss that a little bit?
So I do work with a company that's called Moves for Seniors. They handle a lot of assisted living, moves going into assisted living, and they basically are a concierge service, if you want to call it that. And we handle the specific moving, whether it's packing, loading, unloading, whatever needs are there, moving mechanical beds, doing things like all the difficult things. And with senior living, I mean, you're talking about most cases houses into 1-bedroom apartments.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
1, 2, if you're lucky.
So that's where like a guy like Vinny comes in with the organized guy, and they come in and they sit there and they help downsize. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
important feature. Now, we can do those things, but his specific
niche.
attention to detail and his ability to have that extra patience, where we're, not that we're just here for the grunt work.
But that's what your
There's
focus is.
a little extra
I get
finesse
it.
Right, of
when
course.
someone's doing that work separately.
Right. I mean, and Vinny, I remember you were even mentioning earlier, that you guys go to the extreme of taking pictures before, and then wherever the client's going, you're like you're setting it up exactly the way it was in their previous place. Like you really take time to build or reorganize everything exactly.
And that's priceless.
Which is amazing.
And it does go to Jimmy's point of knowing our clients. So when you're having that consultation, that initial walkthrough, especially if you have someone who's on that cusp of dementia or Alzheimer's in particular, they're already having a ton of stress that we don't understand. So it's also important for the families too, because after we're all done and we've done everything for them, the families are left, with the aftermath of that. So, it really is important when we're starting point, take all those pictures. Where is this photograph on this table, kind of a thing.
You want to
love
laugh?
that.
Do you know what I just got? A vision. So I'm very visual, being an artist. Remember the movie Arthur? Do you remember Arthur's caregiver and how Arthur made the hospital room look
look like Hobson's room. Yes.
That's you. I'm telling you.
Yes.
That's
exactly
the image that I just got in my head.
Yeah.
And that's an important part, because that's an important part, not to just the process, but it's their mental health.
It's of
partial
course.
whether there's recovery involved, or
Right.
even minimizing how much more stress and damage they cause.
Right.
I just think that that's such a beautiful thing.
I love that about the two of you. You guys really work with your heart.
Yeah.
And you use a lot of care in what you do, and it's tricky. It's a difficult thing because you're dealing with so many emotions with people, and so I really commend you on that.
And you know what? As real estate consultants, which we're licensed associate brokers, but we're really real estate consultants because, when people depend on us for certain things and certain referrals, if you're not referring people that and you're just giving a random name, you're not doing yourself a service as proving yourself as a professional. You're really just not. You really have to vet people out, and these gentlemen are vetted. So anyone that wants to refer them out, please do. They are incredible and wonderful, and their heart's in the right place, which is to me it's a big thing.
On that note, where can people find you?
Yes.
You have websites, or you please
So I am.
let everyone know.
Yeah. So I'm on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, A Super Move, and our website is www.supermove.com. But yeah, we try to get out there as much as we can, but we don't advertise.
I love that.
That is the one thing I do not do. I do not spend money on advertising.
On purpose.
Listen,
On
21
purpose.
years in business, and I don't think you need to.
He doesn't need to.
You're doing something with
We focus a lot on the referrals, and that's how I build the brand.
How about you, Vinny? Where do people find
So,
you?
same thing. I have a Facebook page and a Instagram page, The Organized Guy. I also have a website, theorganizedguy.com. And I actually have it set up on mine that people can go on. There's a tab for, I set up a free half-hour video consultation. People can go on, book a time and a date with me.
That's awesome.
Just to have the conversation.
That's great.
Because and I think Jimmy would agree. I mean, for us, working with our clients, it also includes education. We want people to understand, because people don't move every day or do these tasks every day, so it could be extremely, especially in the world we live in today. There's so much information being thrown at you.
Oh yeah.
That I love just being able to educate people.
Us too. And it's very interesting. So you guys don't know this, but Jimmy is also on the school board of Seaford Schools. And, I'm seeing parallels in educating students and in moving people, in that each one is an individual, unique, has their own little needs for their educational plan or the plan for the move. And it's kind of full circle how it all comes around. Mm-hmm. So, and I love that because, a lot of people that are in businesses and are very successful do not give back to the community. They're busy, focused on money. And these two gentlemen are totally not all about the money. They're all about being good people, contributing to humanity, making people's lives better and easier. And that's how we feel here at Bonafide, Team Bonafide.
Well, that's why we're here.
Bonafide Services, Inc.
We only have the most exceptional people on
That's
on
right.
our podcast.
I've taken the same path through my scouting career, so.
That's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eagle
So tell
Scout.
me.
Eagle Scout,
Eagle
yes.
Scout, see?
Yeah.
That's also another Menchie thing, being an Eagle Scout.
Servant leadership.
See, it's true, you know?
Yeah, you're helping young people.
Jesse was a police officer.
Right. It's all there.
Permanently certified art teacher. You know, these things, they kind of never leave you. If
No, they
you're
don't.
a giver, you're just a giver. If you're a taker, you're a taker.
Right.
It's just who you are.
All right, so I gotta hear some of these. There's gotta be some good stories, guys. You know, there's gotta be like a nightmare, either move or somebody's crazy piano.
Or
that
you can
had the hardest
choose
time
a
over.
positive one, like that you couldn't believe that you could pull off. We could go negative or
Hey,
positive.
let's go positive.
Okay.
Let's see. For me,
Go ahead.
I've had some pretty interesting jobs. I mean, within 4 months of opening my business, I probably landed one of the biggest jobs in even my old boss's career.
Wow.
Doing 20-some years of business, and I was moving a plumbing supply company. It took about 11 days to do.
Wow.
Yeah, with 4 months into my business, and it was,
Wow.
you know, and it was kind of interesting. He probably hates if he's watching this. You know, I actually hired him as a contractor in that job, which is great. But he's very supportive. He's
That's
always been
great.
that way, and we still talk even to this day. You
That's
know, and I
great.
think
What
it's-
was the nightmare? It's just so much stuff.
So plumbing supplies have a lot of small parts.
Oh, God.
So the organization behind that would have
Oh,
loved
my
an
God.
organized guy for that, but
Did your head explode?
yeah, I mean we're talking about taking it off the shelves exactly the same way, putting it back on the same way, labeling, and you know it's a lot of 20-something guys on per day, you know, taking apart decks, you know, for actual second floor decking. It was way more than I anticipated, but we got it done.
Good for
happy
you.
Customers. It turned into
Wow.
another good job after that. Even moving a wine company.
Wow.
I think they do Cavit.
Oh, neat.
The white
Yeah.
wine.
Okay.
We did some work with them, so it was good. It
Wow,
was,
that's a
turned into-
great way to launch your business.
Yeah, it was really
Holy
good.
crap.
It was really good.
With the tough one right up front.
yeah,
right?
it was,
Oh, yeah. Nice challenge right out the bat.
Right?
yeah.
Holy
How
crap.
about you?
I got a lot of stories, but anyway, there was one in particular that always, on the positive side, it always jumps out at me. I got hired through a referral. I never actually met the individual. He lived out of state, but I got hired to clean up his aunt's apartment in the city. She was in rehab,
Okay.
and she was going to be coming back home. And he told me a lot about the apartment, things that are inside of it, and this is a kind of a common theme for me, is the finding things. And he said to me at one point, he goes, well, she does have some money laying around. I said, okay, well, it's good. Thanks for telling me. It's important because I need to look for these
Sure.
things
Right.
when I was downsizing. So I'm in there by myself in this apartment in Manhattan, and I open up this drawer and I'm finding envelopes, and I'm just taking them out and this one had hundreds and 50s and 20s, and I'm counting it all. And it was $10,000 I found,
God.
and I called him immediately and got him on FaceTime, and I said, "Did you know your aunt had $10,000?" He goes, "Oh, I didn't know about this." And I was actually, so I had to get a hold of the building manager, and we went through everything, we counted everything, and triple counted, and everything was good. I was shocked. I actually had people go, "Oh, you didn't take it?"
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I just, you know me, and you would ask me that
Right.
question?
How do you?
Right.
How dare you?
Isn't that just
It doesn't
out of
belong
control?
to. I don't care what it is. It's not mine.
It's not mine.
My clients hire me to protect them. At least that's the way I treat them.
Well, that's
to
you.
protect them.
Obviously, you know.
So yeah, that was a great story, though. And unfortunately, she passed away. But a year later, the family kept the apartment, and they brought me back in a second time. Gave me a great review on Google, which really was gold.
Yeah.
That was more important than anything
Yeah,
else
it
I got
is.
from them.
It is. That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
And that's
That's
always
wild.
tricky too,
Yeah.
with money or jewelry or anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's always tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, I kind of remind me when I was a kid. I was doing I was in my 20s. I was doing electrical work in the Hamptons, and it was at a mobster's
remember you
house.
told me
I
this.
won't mention the name, but he's probably not even alive anymore. But he was just building this new house. He had this house. He had bought another house that he was building. We were doing electrical, and I was working in his room, and I'm like, I go into the room, into a closet, and I notice a shitload of shoe boxes. I'm like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be working. He's like, yeah, no worries. I'm like, you have a lot of boxes in your closet. He's like, oh, don't worry, that's just some cash. And I'm like, do me a favor, can you send one of the guys to come and get all this out? He's like, no, don't worry, I trust
And
you.
you're like, no.
I'm like, dude, I don't want to end up with the fishes. I mean, like, it's a true story. I'm like, I'm not going in there until you get one of the guys to remove all of the boxes.
Can you
from this room.
imagine?
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
$1 goes missing. I mean,
Well, it's funny because when I moved to the house before the one that we live in East Hills, the sellers, I said, do you happen to have someone that cleans? They said, yes, we've had her for 17 years. I said, great, tell her I want Friday. And they go, no, you'll interview her. I go, she worked with you for 17 years? They go, yeah. I go, that's all I needed to know. The most beautiful human being. I love her. Every time I see her, I cry. She's like a second mom. And I mean, I would always say about her, if there was money around, she would leave it in a stack and be like, I found this money. You shouldn't leave this laying around. Like, that's who she is, you know? It's like, and that's, you know, it's like,
Same
you know,
thing.
us, we'd be like, shame on you. What's wrong with you? Why'd you leave this here, you know? But, you know, and inevitably, sometimes things do get missing. I mean, we worked with someone who misplaced a ring. And we know our guys so well. We know it's not our guys. I
Right.
know she's going to find it.
Right.
But, you know, listen,
it's like-
I gave my mother jewelry to hide, and we can't find that either.
well, you told her to hide it.
I told her to hide it, and she hid it really well. So hopefully we'll find that one day.
Well,
But-
thanks, guys, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Please,
much.
everyone, if you need any moving services, organizing services, packing, all of those things that are related, please reach out to these guys. You will not regret it. They're the best in the business.
Best.
And most
Thank
of
you.
all, they're honest.
They're honest and trustworthy. And you know what? You get what you pay for. You really do. You want to, get the bottom of the barrel, or you want to do it yourself and have things thrown away by guys that don't have, marbles or walnut-sized brains. Go for it. But, we did that once. But,
On that note,
on that note, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.